In my Polish journey, we're currently learning about the people because I hope to someday visit Poland. But as part of being a good guest, I want to make sure that I learn as much as possible before doing that. And we're currently learning about the women, and then we're going to be learning about the men, and then more about the location. We also learned about the food already. But one of the parts that I think is also important about learning whatever of a country is also learning the negatives. And so, what do you mean by that? Well, today's video's title is 5 reasons why you might not want to date a Polish woman, because we've been hyping up the women for a long time. Now, let's see what the argument is for the opposite. And yeah, I don't want to give any opinions right now because the video's just started. And I have no idea what this video is going to be talking about. But the original video is going to be linked in the description. Consider subscribing to them and supporting them. But also, if you like this content is a conversation. So feel free to comment down below. I read all the comments. And yeah, let's get into it.
Today's episode might be a controversial one.
Of course.
Kind of like this building right behind me. Let me show you. Because today I'm going to tell you 5 reasons why you might not want to date a Polish woman.
Vigo's dad.
Boom.
Boom. Which a lot of you have told me to watch this channel, and I have not seen any of his videos. This is the first video we're watching together. But we are going to be reacting more to his videos because, again, like you guys said, I would, as a Hispanic man myself, we can relate. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom.
Boom! Cześć ludzie! What's up, people? Hola, JT here. Welcome to another episode. Okay. First of all, promise me that before you go to the comments and and attack me, you have to watch till the end, okay? I've been with my wife for like 11 years, almost 12 years, and
República Dominicana. Sorry, I was trying to read his hat. I was distracted. It's Dominican Republic, but wow, 11 years. That's awesome. Congrats.
I have learned a lot of things about Polish women. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Hey bro, listen, just because you're married to one Polish girl does not mean that they are all the same, okay? I know, trust me, I know, but please let me develop my video before you start rambling. Finish! I have actually covered topics somewhat related to this before. I did a video called Married to a Polish Woman, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I also did one titled How to Date Polish People. So I would like to believe that I have somewhat of a clue what's it like, you know, being with a Polish girl. Now, granted, I will say right now, big letters.
Disclaimer. Yeah, you gotta always. I mean, but if he's, you know, I don't know. I don't want to defend him or like anything like that. Like, again, I haven't seen the video and I don't know what he's gonna be talking about. But you know, it's in some ways a lot of the times that you can see cultural experiences, even in just like your own marriage, your own relationships with certain cultures, with certain people in certain cultures. So I do also want to put that disclaimer out there that you can see to some extent, quotations, what it might be like with another person in that culture. So it's completely valid to think that.
I am not implying that all Polish women are the same. There are certain generalizations, and I think there are several characteristic traits that do apply to a lot of people, and that's what I am basing myself off. But if you're a Polish woman and you feel that this video is helpful and you need to send it to your boyfriend or to your husband or to a guy you like or a girl you like, do so.
That's so crazy. What a if they don't know what it's, if they're not getting, if they, you know, if they're not understanding you, send them this video. That's kind of crazy. But also he lives in Poland. So there's that. Like, you guys could, I mean, yeah, just whatever.
Okay, so now let's get to the topic, JT. You talk too much, no? Like all Latinos.
He did. It's 2-minute intro. Am I as bad as that? A 2-minute intro? Todos los Latinos hablan así, right? Puro platica y no hacen nada, right? Just kidding. I'm not gonna do all that. Pero cuando hablo así, just kidding. I'm sorry.
First
I'm
reason
tired. I just woke up.
why you might not want to date a Polish girl is if you don't like sarcasm. Hey man, Poles are masters of sarcasm. They love sarcasm. They have a very dark sense of humor sometimes. Polish women are very fast. They think fast. Combine that with sarcasm and dark humor, and all of a sudden, bro, you are being left behind, and you don't know exactly what is happening. You might think that they are coming off as rude. Listen.
Here's this is actually, this is kind of a weird take, but I don't know. Should I say it right now? I don't know what else he's going to say. I mean, I understand what he's saying already. I'll say this. I actually really love sarcasm when a woman does sarcasm. And then after this, I'll elaborate more because I don't know what he's going to say. But I want to say I really love it when a woman has a sense of humor, not just a dark humor. Because there's a lot of people who have dark humor, but isn't very like comedic, if that makes sense. It's not funny. Like I can appreciate it because it's like, oh, it's a sense of the humor, the jokes and stuff, but it doesn't make me laugh, right? Sarcasm, on the other hand, that's really done well. I can laugh every time. It's just I'm a sucker for sarcasm because I do it myself. Okay, so I'm not, I'm a connoisseur, right? Of sarcasm. I love it. But let's see what else he has to say, and then I'll give more of my opinion on this.
Listen, I will give you the best example of this sarcasm thing, especially in a relationship with a Polish woman, so that you are warned, okay? We're doing remodeling in our house, and we're dealing with the whole lighting situation. And I've been talking to the architect about where we're gonna do it. And my wife delegated this to me. She's like, okay, you're gonna deal with the lights, talk to him. A couple days ago, the workers came and they're asking, where are we gonna install the switches? And my wife is like, you didn't communicate with the architect. And I'm like, oh yeah, a raccoon came running in, giving her excuses. So she wrote to her friends on WhatsApp. She's telling them what happened. And then she sends this photo and she's telling her like, look, this is JT and the architect having a date about lights, yet the lights are not sold. And here I am having a headache about it. Brilliant example of a Polish woman.
That's actually kind of funny. The fuck? They're over here just chatting it away, but where the fuck are the lights? Hey, you know what? I can appreciate that. I just think, like, here's my opinion, right? I actually really love sarcasm. And if someone's like, just backstory, I dated a German girl and German woman in college. Super sarcastic. Almost too sarcastic, some would say. I loved it. Now, it's very much you gotta be aware that that's what you're expecting. And also like you have to really like it to be a fan of it. And I really love sarcasm because it just makes things so much lighter. I know it sounds weird saying, but like it just makes the world a little bit more lighter, less stressful. Just makes everything more palatable, regardless of what's going on in your life, because you can laugh. There's always room for it to laugh regardless of what's going on in your life at that time or what's in the relationship, how you communicate. When there's sarcasm and it's acceptable and everyone does it, there's room to laugh. It sounds crazy to say. Maybe I don't know if that's normal, but I actually do think that sarcasm is a huge plus. Now, obviously, there's malicious sarcasm, and maybe that's something some people have to put up with too. But I'm a fan of sarcasm because I do it a lot.
Sarcasm, level 10. The second reason why you might not want to date a Polish woman is if you don't like to be bossed around. It is what it is, guys. Polish women are bossy. There's just no way to, sugarcoat it. Polish women are strong character women. They know what they want. They know how to get what they want. They don't depend on anybody. They are go-getters, man, and also they are stubborn. So when you combine all of those characteristics, you have a woman that is going to challenge your average man.
I will say this. I myself am not a fan of being bossed around Just gonna be honest. Because it's like we're all adult. Like the way I see it is we're all adults. You don't have to you don't have to tell me what to do. Like we can talk about it. Like or um it's a situation where it's like let me finish the first thought. I'm over here jumping ahead because I just woke up. I don't like being bossed around because there's a difference between, hey, let's try to get something done together, or you do this, or like reminding somebody, versus just nagging, right? When someone just nags you all the time. There's a lot of people I've seen that just do that. They just nag. It's not productive. It's not constructive. Whereas like, if it's like, hey, let's take their example of remodeling the house, and I was given the lights, and my partner would be like, or my wife would just say, hey, go, you're responsible for the lights. Okay, that's fine. Like, I'll do that. That's not really bossing around. At least I don't see that as that way, because it's a common goal, and it's like, oh, it's because, oh, I'm gonna do lights because probably she's gonna do something else. That's fair. That's valid. But if it's like, I can't believe you haven't done the lights all day, without ever having the conversation in the beginning about who's responsible for the lights, it's different, right? So I think I'm not a fan of bossing around, but it just depends on the context. This is really hard. I know we haven't even finished his section, but I just want to put this out there. I think a lot of people, I guess I'm basing it off the American experience, right? Which, in fairness, a lot of men and women in America don't even know what they want, so things tend to just be worse in a relationship. So there's that. But I think there's just a lot of miscommunication in regards of what's actually happening when in relationship in America. Like, people perceive bossing around when it's not bossing around, and then there's times when people perceive nagging when it's not. And I think it's just because fundamentally Americans just don't have a good perception of what they want. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. I want to put that out there. So there could be some different standards, but it's more than likely not correct for us. We're not perceiving it correctly.
You are a person that you like to be left alone. You don't want to be told what to do. You know, she does her thing, you do your own thing, and somehow the relationship works. Kind of like what I've seen happen in Scandinavian cultures and to some degree Germanic cultures. The relationship is a little bit more like, okay, listen, this is a society. I live my life, I do my thing. You live your life, you do your thing, and then we kind of like bring both energies together and, you know, have a family. But in a relationship with a Polish woman, it just doesn't work like that. They're gonna tell you what you should be doing. They're gonna be keeping tracks of the tasks that they requested. They're gonna expect results. That's why you have to be also a little feisty. They're bossy. They don't want a guy that they can boss around. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, but...
Oh, maybe I spoke too early. Huh. But then again, I don't like being bossed around. But okay, now this is okay. Now I see why he made this video, because it's like they want someone who doesn't like being bossed around, someone like me, for example, and I would definitely talk back because I don't like that. But that's what they want. But they do the opposite and they do bossing. So that's something I wouldn't want. How does that work, dude? That's actually kind of crazy. What? No, that's... Yeah, I don't know if yeah, this is kind of weird. I'm laughing because I spoke too soon. I didn't think there would be that little section at the end, and they want someone who doesn't want to be bossed around. Well, yeah, but at the same time, people who don't want to be bossed around probably wouldn't want to be with them. I don't understand that.
Trust me, there's a name for this. I've mentioned it before on my channel. It's called Chepwekluche. They don't want a Chepwekluche guy. They don't want a guy that they literally can move around with their hands like this and basically play with him. They want to have some resistance. They want to tell you. They want to get into the fight. They want to get down and dirty, but they want you to stand up for yourself. If you know how to handle, it's gonna result in an amazing relationship with an amazing woman that will actually help you. She will help you grow. She will do things for you, with you, for your family.
But some okay, so maybe this is where again, like I gave that disclaimer about American perceptions of things, but this is where my inner cynic, is like, well, based on women in America, like it's real. Obviously, we're not talking about Polish women. It's really hard to perceive growing together and contradicting. Like you don't want to marry or date someone that's the exact same as you. That's gonna get boring, at least in my opinion. But what I do find interesting is like, what was I saying? Oh yeah, in America, it's like when someone's doing the opposite and telling you to like acting the opposite. Typically, it's because they don't communicate well and there's something they want to really say. Like I don't know. It's really hard to find women in America that actually want to see you grow, a man grow. Whereas like in America, they're more likely to just replace them for somebody else um, than actually see a man grow, if that makes sense. Because they're for some reason not patient at all, and then they themselves probably don't want to grow either. Um, so that's why when you hear this part, like a lot of people, my Americans especially, might be like, I don't know about that. That seems kind of too good to be true, right? When it's fact, it shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't be too good to be true. It should actually be normal. But in America, it's just the standard is so muddied and so low that it's really, you know. But I can see this. I can see how it works. I can see what he's saying, and I can see how the relationship can foster because you're pushing each other to grow, right? The woman wants a man that she can. It's gonna sound crazy. Rub against, right? Like create some friction with, but ultimately grow with, right? That way too. Like it's kind of like the old saying: if you get friction between each other, you won't have friction between outside. You know what I mean? You have drama inside the house, you won't have drama outside the house. Nah, but also too, it's just like it gives a woman confidence that if she wants to grow, she doesn't have to do it alone either. I can see that. It's just in America, it's so hard. Like I myself, I'm always trying to get better. I'm trying to grow. Like I work a job and I make YouTube content. And I'm trying to get better. Like I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to be more involved in the world around me. And more just a better person overall. But in America, that's not appreciated as much because you're not at the you have to be at the end result for people to appreciate you. The people don't appreciate the journey. But I can see how this grows and like becomes a good relationship.
But if you're a guy that doesn't, you know what? This is actually point number 3. Let's go to point number 3. Come on, let's go. So, point number 3. If you're a guy that doesn't like to be challenged in life, you don't want to be pushed. Like I said before, you want to do your own.
But that's the context. That's like I'm gonna hear what he has to say, but I want to put this part first because again, as an American, like the American dating scene, when you're challenged, it's for different reasons. Usually, it's for selfish reasons from the woman. Um, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to get into crazy like examples, but you can see it all the time. It's not very. The challenging has to be the benefit of both people. It can't be just one individual person. Um, in America, it's so hard. So I just want to put that out there that a lot of people might, if the challenge is between the partner and the partner to grow together, then that's fine. I just want to put that out there.
Thing. You feel too much pressure when people push you to do things that you don't want to do, when they get you out of your comfort zone. Then if you are that person, then you might not want to be with a Polish woman, because Polish women are going to push you. They're going to take you to a place that sometimes might not be comfortable, because they themselves are constantly growing. They are bettering themselves. They are taking new classes so that they can improve their skills in a professional setting. They want to get higher and better positions. They are not settling down, basically. So they expect their partners to meet them right up here where they set their expectations.
Now, but that's kind of tricky. That's kind of tricky though. I'm gonna go back one more time and really hear what he's saying because that seems kind of Let's
they
see.
are not settling down basically. So they expect their partners to meet them right up here where they set their expectations. You know, not everybody likes to be pushed. Some people thrive more when they are left on their own, when they can devise a plan that will work for them, and then they will slowly get there. And if they have someone behind them pushing and asking, and then even if it's done in a way that is supposed to be helpful, right? Like, I'm just helping you, what can I do to help you achieve your goals? Some people just don't thrive under those circumstances. If you're like that, then listen, you are going to have a harder time with a Polish woman.
I think I'm trying to understand what he's saying. So this is where you, the viewer, might want to let me know in the comments down below. So is he specifically only talking about expectations? Or is he talking about, like, how do I word this? I guess it is just expectations. Because the thing is, it's like, okay, if I'm saying, okay, I want to be some businessman. Is she, I guess what is, I have more, I don't even have like a comment. I have a bunch of questions. What is a good example of the expectations that he's talking about? Like meeting the expectations. Because he's talking about goals, but that's, I don't know, that seems very too broad, because that can be for anybody's goals. It can be his goals, it can be the woman's goals, it can be anybody's goals. So the thing is, it's like, let me know what it mean. If you're watching this, let me know what he means by the woman's expectations, because I have so many questions, because that could be taken in so many different ways. So I'm not even gonna comment on that. Just give me like an example, or maybe like your thoughts on it, so I can better understand.
They really like when their men are active. So once again, if you don't like to be pushed, then they're not for you.
I think ultimately, though, I think somebody needs somebody in their life to push them, regardless of they're your friends, your wife, your siblings, your parents. Like, you always need somebody to push you, just enough, right? Some people don't need it at all, and they thrive without it. But I think it's always good to have someone in your life that could.
Number 4, if you love peace and quietness, I swear, man, sometimes it feels as if Polish women wake up in the morning and they choose violence.
I choose violence.
And I don't mean physical violence, but just the feistiness. And why are you fighting? Why are you so impatient today? Why are you talking to me with that tone of voice, this sarcasm, this barky tone? Hey, listen, it's again part of that temperament, that hot temperament, combined with some other things like impatience, and maybe you have done a few things also that piss them off. To some people, that is a make or break in order for them to be in a relationship with someone. They cannot be with an individual that we say in Spanish, we say the word peleón, una persona peleón.
Que pelea todos los días. Que le gusta pelear. I already know. He's not speaking Mexican Spanish, but it's the same word. We have the same word.
It's a person that it argues all the time, you know, very
Well, for us, it just means someone that just likes to fight. So it's the same thing.
argumentative. One of the things that can happen in a relationship with a Polish woman is that you are going to encounter a lot of arguments. And
I'm not afraid of arguments. I think arguments are fine. It's funny because, like, the most arguments I have are with some of my friends. We argue a lot because it's funny. It's fun. It's like, at least we just talk and we're chitting chatting with the guys. Like, who cares? It's not like impactful. But what I was looking at is, like, I think that kind of attitude for most people might be off-putting, but I think as long as, like, there's a common understanding that that's how the person's going to be, and that you accept them for that, and that still means that, like, the home is still going to be together, you're going to still be together. Because the thing is, like, again, like, in America, it's very, 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 very different. Very, very, very different. That attitude can be perceived as, like, oh, that person's cheating, or that person's doing this, that person's doing that. There's a lot of negative consequences or results that have come from an attitude like that in America. So I just think, like, I think if there's a communication up front that's how it's going to be, and an expectation up front that's going to be like that, I think it's perfectly fine. I don't actually see that as a negative, but I do love peace and quiet. So I like a house that's quiet. I don't mind arguing and stuff like that, but I just like silence. I just love it. I think it's just because, I grew up with siblings and it was always loud. So I just like having that silence. But that's why, like, some people just have that moment when they get away. Like I have my office, I just move away. um, it's just you can find ways around it though. Like that's a problem that can be solved.
Sometimes it feels like the arguments are without any real purpose or reason to you if you're not an argumentative person. Keep that in mind. Maybe it's not for you, but if you're up for an amazing challenge, then
But it can get exhausting, regardless of it's like well placed and there's no ill intentions. Like it still is exhausting. I don't want to just wave that away. Okay, I know I know some people might have been like, well, dude, it's still mentally exhausting. What are you talking about? Yes, I know. I 100% did not want to just downplay that, but yes, it could be 100% mentally exhausting, regardless if it's like well intended. So
can guarantee you that life is never boring, is never dull. The fifth and
look at that beautiful architecture. This is what I miss right here. It's really hard to find historical buildings these days in America. Well, not hard, but a lot of them are getting swapped out for something like this, which is fine. But a lot of these buildings end up being like hardly anybody in them because no one could afford them. So
final reason why you might not want to be with a Polish woman is if you want a mommy. There are some cultures that are very, very well known for the guys. And listen, I want to make this part.
it's kind of crazy. I just want to hear him say it again. It's kind of crazy.
Might not want to be with a Polish woman is if you want a mommy. There are some cultures that are very, very well known for the guys. And listen, I want to make this particular one about heterosexual relationships because, first of all, I don't have much clues about relationships, between people from the same gender when it applies to what I'm about to say right now. Okay, so disclaimer once again, this one is possibly between heterosexual couples. Although, if it applies for, couples of the same sex, please, by all means, let me know in the comments. I always...
That's true. Hey, only like I like that he's putting this in here because, like I said, like I do, if I don't know, I'm not even gonna try to guess and assume and give an opinion on that because it's like I'd rather just somebody tell me and then I get it right the first time than trying to be like spend 10 minutes on a video trying to overanalyze something that I have no idea about. But that's why I love the power of comments on a video. It just allows me to understand and hear y'all's point of view too, because like I said, it could everyone's a different person, has different experiences, so seeing that variety in opinion can really inform somebody like me.
Always like to learn new things about cultures and people. But there are some cultures, and I'm going to include the Latino culture there, to be honest, where the guys really like to have a wife that is going to be kind of like an extension of their mother. They are very close to their mother, and the mom is the nucleus of the family. So when they choose a life partner, they look for a person that has a lot of similarities.
How do I want to say this? How do I want to say this without sounding weird? I think I know what I want to say. I just try to figure out how to word this properly for it to make sense. Not that it won't make sense. It's just I feel like it won't make sense, but I'm just going to say it. I think what it is, it's a difference between wanting a mommy. No, that's one thing. Like that's different. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. But it's one thing to like say, hey, I want a more gentler, nurturing type person in my home because there's a stark contrast, right? I was fortunate enough to be raised in like his Mexican culture, so moms are a little bit more well, towards guys, right? The women, the moms are more nurturing towards the men. So for me, that's my point of view. I've seen countless experiences where mothers are really mean to their daughters in Mexican culture. I don't want to comment on that. I have no idea. But and for men, typically it's like there's like they not baby them, but it's just like making sure they're a little bit more emotionally available. And I think there's a lot of peace that comes with that in the home. So it's very connected to peace and quiet, right? Because well, not necessarily means it's going to lead to that, but it leads to more peace in the home because the mother is, like he said, the cornerstone of the home. And it's like the pillar, the central piece. This is the person we need to protect at all costs. Is the person that's the most valuable person in the home, in the family, is the mother. So some people, like I wouldn't mind that. I would love that actually, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna be like cut everybody off that isn't that. No, I think that there's just it's not like people are trying to date their mom. No, it's just there's a lot of family values that come with a person like that you don't have to teach anything. Like they just know. And they're such a pivotal like they're so at least in America they're so rare. They're so rare in America that I actually think they're more valuable than people. Those people are just like that personality type is such a gem. But let me hear what he has to say.
Sometimes too many similarities to their moms. Italians come to mind, Latinos come to mind, Spanish people come to mind. So yeah, basically Latinos, because Spanish people and Italians are also Latinos. Did you guys know when I
Yes, it's us. He's basically talking about us. Hispanics and Latinos.
say Latinos is Latinos from Latin America? If you're a guy looking for qualities that are gonna resemble your mom and you want your wife to be kind of like a mommy to you, I don't think a Polish woman's for you, man. And why do I say this?
I just the way he says it's crazy, but I know what he means.
It's not because they don't take care of their families and their husbands. They do quite a lot and quite well. But the way that they take care of you, it's not going to be pampering you and telling you how good of a job you're doing and making sure that your meal is prepared and done and take your little sandwich to work. Don't get me wrong, yes, those things were a lot more prevalent in Poland a couple generations back. But the new Polish generation is a lot more modern. It's a lot more independent. The women also expect the men to do things for them.
So that's what he's saying. So it's the idea of what is the traditional woman, what is a modern woman, right? That's all it is. The whole mommy thing's crazy. But I see what he's saying though. It's like people don't date their mom, but they want to have their mom in their house even when she's not around. Yeah, I get it now. But yeah, I mean, I guess like nothing's wrong with like a modern woman. Now, if you get an American modern woman, that's very different. Like that, good luck. Your life, you don't. It's so unpredictable. Because loyalty is such a very, very fickle word when it comes to the American modern woman.
Expect the man to clean around the house, to cook, to take care of the children.
I cook a lot, and also I would want to take care of my own children too. So, I don't. That's what's interesting. Maybe it's because I'm a modern guy. I don't know.
To go out and do the things that were historically up until now, I guess, women responsibilities. And I see it more and more and more. So if you're looking for a partner that is going to basically pamper you and be your mommy, bro, look elsewhere, because that is not going to happen with a Polish woman. Sorry to burst your bubble, to be honest.
But it goes back to the whole idea of like, well, you're gonna let peace and quiet challenge. Like you're the opposite style. Like the traditional wife would be the most opposite style of what this personality type is. Which I don't think it's bad necessarily. I think as long as there's like the heart felt like we're in this together, regardless of what we say to each other, it's always the same team type deal. Then I think that's fine. Like I think all of this is cool. I mean, especially sarcasm. I love sarcasm, so I'm always going to defend sarcasm.
To be honest. Boom!
That's kind of scared me. Whoa. Which, by the way, I hope I'm not mumbling too much because sometimes the mic doesn't pick it up when I mumble. But yeah, like I said, it's not. I'm gonna repeat what I said earlier just so I made sure I wasn't mumbling. Um, yeah, I think it's fine as long as you're not like being mischievous or ill-intended with a lot of these personality traits. I think it's fine. I mean, but that goes for anything. As long as you're on the same page and you're on the same team, that's all that matters. And you're clearly that, and you're loyal to each other. Doesn't matter. Everything else is just part of the game and part of the fun.
That's all, guys. That's the end of the episode. I hope you liked it. Look at this really cool obelisk.
Obelisk. I love that word. Obelisk. We need more obelisks. Summon the Dark Lords. I'm kidding. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Was this video very informative? Did I provide anything of value? Let me know. Did I disagree too much? Did I agree too much? I felt like I was a little bit more balanced. But I do want to let me know. The big thing I do need to know is, what does expectations mean to a Polish woman? Because I have no idea what any of that means. I mean, what does the modern Polish woman care about? And even then, does that mean every Polish woman is modern? Who knows? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Let me know in the comments down below. Check out the next one. Bye-bye.